Hello and welcome back, everyone, to Rocket Rabbit Commentaries run through of Quake 2 as we continue on through the big gun unit. And to answer Cloud's question from the last part, why do we... what?
I didn't answer Cloud's question. What are you talking about? I wasn't telling you what the question was in between parts. I didn't get to finish it for our viewers.
Oh, okay. Well, then continue the question here.
Okay, so while we wander around and scrounge around like sneaky little bastards in order to get all the items who were powerful as fuck, I was commenting that we were fighting cleavage robots practically. So I was running the gamut on probabilities. I think I know what the answer to the question is, but I wanted to ask Mr. Gerdat, do these cyborgs have outward sexual imagery associations in order to procreate among themselves, or in order to more easily blend in with the humans in order to defeat them?
Well, technically, it's neither of those because they don't actually care all that much about infiltration of the humans. You see, to the Strogg, humans are just biological matter that they have the ability to repurpose for their own life. I don't really remember if the Strogg are technically an alien race or if they're an AI gone rogue.
Oh my God, they've learned to love boobies. They've become quite powerful.
Well, no. The whole reason why the rocket babes are exposed as such is to be distractions for the for our usually male centric protagonists.
Oh my God!
For the record, we do not actually have to play as a male. For the record. You can play as either a cyborg or as a female if you choose. It's under the skin options and player settings.
I mean, like, as long as it makes sense. I think
it doesn't make sense actually, because this is still the early 2000s where we were convinced that we were never going to have a women military personnel in space.
Yeah. Well, I mean, all I was saying was for having the character you're playing as emulate who you are as a person, whether you are a biological male or female or identify as such thereof. That's one thing. If you enjoy having a narrative where you are a Dante who is struggling with his tragic lust through his journey through hell, then you can also appreciate the narrative as an alternative.
The problem is that that it doesn't actually work all that well for that, because they don't actually get their more sexual nature explored or even showcased until the very end of the game, where it's played off as a joke.
I guess we'll see it at the end of the game. All right. Well,
we will actually. I get to show off the credits room. Haha.
It's all right. It's coming. Oh yes. There will be boobies. They're around here somewhere.
Well, there'll be implied boobies.
We gotta get the health packs in the dark corner, and then we gotta get in the only sparsely lit corridors a couple of robot men on legs, and maybe one of those thin Bettys that we've been seeing around. Only that the video game characters, and goddamn it, I like seeing them.
There are plenty more rocket blades to take down. At the very least, he dropped a quad damage, but I'm still full on those. All right, so we're actually showing off a bit more of us using the railgun finally. The railgun is as I mentioned in the last part, is factually the best weapon in the game. Its damage rating doesn't fall off with range. It has effectively infinite range, and its only real problem is its reload speed is a bit slow. I think it's only like 1/10 of a second slower, maybe 2/10 of a second slower than the grenade launcher.
It's weird. Reload speed is one of those funny things. You want to max it out, but you don't mind having it excruciatingly long sometimes. It kind of depends on the situation.
With certain weapons specifically, it doesn't matter. For example, the BFG-10K. Although I dislike using the weapon, it's not because of its reload speed. It's actually because it uses up way too much. It uses up way too many cells per shot. At maxed out ammo, you can only fire the BFG-10K 6 times.
Well, it is a big fucking
It is a
vitamin
big
G.
fucking gun.
Vitamin G.
It is a big fucking gun, Mr. Cloud.
You're looking
but,
deficient.
Like,
you need a vitamin.
the thing is, cells are more useful on both the Hyper Blaster and on the defensive counterpart, the Power Armor. I don't actually bother to use Power Armor for the entire playthrough, so that's partially why I end up in critical health from time to time. But, yeah, Power Armor is objectively a better use of cells than the BFG 10K.
Fire.
Come on. Unfortunately, the darkness set the light setting and the light setting of my monitor right now means that a lot of these darker quarters I just cannot see anything through.
It looks. I mean, it. You can see when it counts.
Usually. Playing through Doom 3 now with my current setup was a fucking nightmare. Had to use a flashlight in every room. But that's what I mean when I say that the enemy models don't actually have a damage modeling specifically, because that was a headshot on that Strogg medium infantry, and it didn't actually lose its head when it died. So, yeah.
Well, I think
I am convinced. I'm convinced that a majority of the enemies in this game, actually, I'm convinced that all the enemies don't actually have damage modeling, because there's just two different corpses for that one specific medium infantry.
I think by this point, games have decided we can either give you a head or not give you a head in first-person shooter. We will give you a head so that the player can take it off. We will not give you a head so that the player does not get a critical bonus for hitting you.
Let's see. It's 2001. Does Perfect Dark have damage modeling?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, it does, because you have the ability to shoot enemy weapons out of enemy hands. So,
really?
Yeah, you can do that in Perfect Dark.
It's
not a thing that I've ever.
N64 Perfect Dark.
Yes, in N64 Perfect Dark, you can shoot weapons out of enemy hands.
Wow. Not even Perfect Dark Zero.
For the record, I have never pulled it off, but I know it's possible.
Jesus Christ.
Other people that have played Perfect Dark significantly better and longer than I have informed me that yes, it is totally possible to shoot weapons out of enemy hands.
I mean, it also makes sense that
it makes a hell of a lot of sense. Joanna is a supposedly a super agent going through a majority of that campaign with all the impossible training that entails.
Yeah, and that part of stealth is dead men tell no tales. She has to kill a lot of people in order to infiltrate successfully, or those people will alert the rest of the facility. And where damage modeling comes into play is headshots, of course, because a lot of the enemies you see early in Perfect Dark games are not wearing helmets. So shoot them in the head once with a silenced weapon, they will die and nobody will notice.
Usually, you're supposed to actually use the trank settings, but then again, I'm not entirely sure. No. Perfect Dark's definitely got a trank. It takes forever to unlock for multiplayer, but it's definitely there.
Yep. So you get a non-violent approach.
Okay, so who wins in a fight between Joanna Dark and Solid Snake?
Depends. That really depends. 'Cause I don't know how much magic there is in Metal Gear Solid series. I know there's a lot of magic. The growl. She gets the power of the growl. Becomes like a fucking genie.
I don't recall there being magic, but then again, I didn't actually play the Perfect Dark campaign.
Well, I mean, I played not N64 Perfect Dark. It's in Perfect Dark Xbox 360.
Zero?
Yeah, Perfect Dark Zero.
Okay.
So, in that game, one of the characters becomes ridiculously powerful because he got the growl, and it's a power weapon, but he uses it for evil.
Which is weird because N64 Perfect Dark is all about aliens.
So, to answer your question, I think Joanna Dark would successfully kill Big Boss once and for all.
Oh, killed Big Boss. Okay, I was thinking of having him actually go up against David and/or Solid Snake.
Well, you said Solid Snake, but I thought Solid Snake and Big Boss were the same person.
No, they're clones.
But, so they are the same person.
No, they are not the same person. They're okay. Let us dive briefly into the absolute batshit lore that is Metal Gear. So to start off, Big Boss is an absolutely legendary super soldier trained by the best espionage agent that the United States military ever produced, the Boss. And Big Boss is called Big Boss specifically because he actually managed to defeat the boss in an absolutely terribly convoluted storyline, wherein the boss was cast out as a traitor, despite the fact that she had never actually been a traitor to the United States government. From this event, one of Big Boss's companions, Zero, decides to actually clone Big Boss because he respects him so much as a skillful soldier. And from that cloning project births both Solid Snake and Liquid Snake. So that has been our brief dive into the lore of Metal Gear Solid.
You see? It's science fiction versus fantasy.
But it's actually science fiction versus science fiction because both games are very heavy science fiction based.
Science fiction, borderline fucking Indiana Jones, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Which is also science fiction, it just pretends to be magic. Alright, so we are going over to the toxic waste dump. And the whole reason we're going there is because we need to overload the primary system computer, and we do that by apparently flooding the waste sectors with too much waste for it to handle.
Right. If you overload the toilet with
shit. The lore
shit.
for this game is actually significantly simpler than that. You are Space Marine. Go kill things. There, that is your lore.
Mr. Gerdat crawled through 4 miles of shit-smelling foulness like nothing I've ever seen in a goddamn first-person shooter since Doom 1.
Let me think. No, because Doom 2 actually had plenty of toxic pits in it too. So even during the main campaign, just going through the first episode of Hell on Earth, there was plenty of toxic pits to go through.
These pits are the shit.
These pits are made for sinking, and that's just what you'll do. One of these days, these pits are gonna corrode all over you. Super Shotgun is still so goddamn satisfying. You'll notice I don't actually use the rocket launcher all that much. And it's not because it's a bad weapon. It's because I'm worried. How I tend to use the rocket launcher is I aim at the enemy's feet. That way, the travel time for the rocket doesn't actually end up hurting me when they shift their position.
Dang it, we're supposed to look.
There.
I'm going to listen carefully for those sounds. I swear to God, these characters are more than just visually appetizing. They are trying to feed us an auditory entree.
Kinda. I mean, it's too it sounds too desperate for that, though.
But desperate. That she needs it. That she needs it in the person. No, that you die, of course.
Ooh, there's an ammo pack over there. We're mostly full on ammo anyway. We don't really need to go pick it up.
Stupid fucking flaming arrows of push button.
They're rockets, dude.
They're floor button madness. I stepped on no such thing and triggered no trap.
Whereas I totally did, you know, because just progressing into the area is what triggers them. So, yoink!
Gotcha. Slugs.
God, the railgun is so fucking amazing.
It stops him.
Honestly, the rhythm of the railgun, despite its hefty reload time, feels really satisfying to play with. Don't worry, we'll get more music in the next part.
I'm on Mars. I'm shooting
the environment suit. I think that's technically the second one that we've seen all game. There are some secrets actually in the toxic waste if you bother to explore that area, but mostly it's like a couple of quad damages and an invulnerability. I don't think that there's anything that we actually want in there.
God, it's like the Magnum you've always wanted.
Except it hurts more than the Magnum does.
Probably.
I mean, think of it this way: you're getting hit with what is effectively a irradiated can of soup going through your body.
Yeah, you don't want radioactive decay to spread around into tiny particles that will spread cesium and other uranium byproducts from the decay with a half-life of approximately 50,000 years. In the next part, we are going to explore even more body damage in this cult of monstrosity we have walked into on Mars.
Be safe, everybody.